Wild-eyed Homer Bannon. Passing out scripture and verse like you wrote it yourself. So I just naturally had to go bad when the face is so much good.
Hud, how'd a man like you come to be a son to me?
Why, that's easy. I wasn't no bundle left on your doorstep. Wasn't found in no bull run. You got the same feelings below your belt as any other man. That's how you got stuck with me for a son. Whether you like it or not.
The 60s were a rough transition for America. Major shifts seemed to be occurring in every fabric of society, from civil rights to sexual mores. The Vietnam War was fueling distrust in political institutions, while women's rights were highlighting a break in oppressive traditions. The old seemed to be fading away more radically than ever before. Like the era it was made in, HUD was a key shift. As one critic put it, it's a transitional film between the naive westerns of the 1960s and the more cynical ones later in the decade. On one hand, it is a compelling drama of small-town life and family tribulation, but through its lens of father-son conflict, it also captures the angst in the loss of authority, the gap between two different generations, and a yearning for the good old days.
But that Mr. Burris seemed like a reasonable man. You think they'd come in here and liquidate?
Hell yeah, they'll liquidate. You got what they say you got.
The film chronicles the hardships of the O'Bannon family, headed by its elderly patriarch Homer, played by Melvyn Douglas. He owns a cattle ranch and runs it with the help of his son, Hud, played by Paul Newman, and Hud's wide-eyed nephew, Lonnie, played by Brandon DeWild.
Here you go.
Thanks.
If the O'Bannon boys run the ranch, their housekeeper, Alma Brown, runs the household.
I'm gonna leave those dishes till later. I just gotta get off these feet.
The kitchen's your department, Alma.
Yeah, I've seen enough of it for today.
The film draws much of its power from its relationships, told mainly through Hud's exploits and conversations. A drunken womanizer, he can't help but switch from ranch hand to ladies' man any chance he can get. Though he's weak with vice, he possesses a certainty and a bravery that doesn't quite cross into foolishness. He's sly and not shy.
By any chance, did you there, young lady?
No.
It's funny. I was sitting way on the other side of the room, and I got a little bit encouraged. Maybe it's the way you move around inside that dress.
All right, smart guy, I'll take you instead.
Oh, I don't want to be hoggish. Lon, you want a piece of?
I expect you'll get your share of what's good. And a boy like you deserves it.
Homer is always on Hud's case, and is a model of calm, unrelenting virtue, which might not be a virtue itself. He harbors a disappointment and bitterness in his son, which may seem apparent to Hud and to us, but goes deeper.
No, I don't.
But he's your son, same as my dad was.
Yep, he is.
What are you holding against him, Granddad?
He knows you don't need to.
When I was your age, I couldn't get enough of anything. That was the summer you were born.
Lonnie, on the other hand, is a true innocent who likes being with Hud, because he's the closest thing to being a father figure and a big brother rolled up into one.
With bale and wire hit every honky-tonk in the country. I don't know which we run the hardest. That car or them country girls. Came them dances. Boy, we dosey-doed and chased a lot of girlish butts around that summer.
No, I wouldn't mind going that route myself.
Come on along.
No, I don't think so.
All right. You get on the telephone tonight and sell every breed cow you own. They haven't got a chain on you yet.
One day, Homer finds one of his cattle dead, and the family finds out soon enough that it is the worst thing that could happen to their way of life. It only brings out the ugliest in Hud's and Homer's bitterness towards each other, and brings out ethical questions on how to cope with what is to come.
Before the news gets out.
and take a chance on starting an epidemic in the entire country.
Why, this whole country is run on epidemics. Where you been? Epidemics, a big business prize fixing, crooked TV shows, income tax finagling, souped up expense accounts. How many honest men you know? You take the sinners away from the saints, you're lucky to end up with Abraham Lincoln. Oh, I say, let's us put our bread in some of that gravy while it is still hot.
You're an unprincipled man, Hud.
Well, don't let that fuss you. I mean, you got enough for both of us.
Though the film's story seems to be set in the 50s with its careful attention to rural Americana, it enhances a nearly elegiac mood of a passing era, which Homer fully embodies. Melvyn Douglas plays him with an authentic dignity that is felt throughout his performance, regardless of how simplistic or vague his characterization is. Even with a simple sing-along moment, he finds a way to bring out his heart.
In a cavern, in a canyon, excavating for a mine, dwelt a miner, 49er, and his daughter Clementine. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine, thou art lost and gone forever. Dreadful song.
Though Homer might be the counterpoint which Hud plays against, it's his relationship with Lonnie which helps us sympathize with him. Brandon the Wild completely conveys a guilelessness which we can't help but reminisce on and care for. When we start seeing Lonnie listen to his uncle's hesitant revelations, we understand Hud. Without him, Hud would be a simple ingrate.
Hell, ain't never been anybody like old Norman, never will be. He was one way-out boy. Claimed he could hear the grass grow.
He got me to go down to his pasture one night to listen. After 3-4 hours just nipping away at that bottle to keep the dew off us, I swore I could hear it too. That's the night I racked up the car. Piled up on Sampson Creek Bridge. He died in a half an hour. I didn't even have a mark on me. You're a dangerous woman to have around.
I'm a good poker player.
Another one of the film's treasures is Alma Brown, played by the late Patricia Neal. She provided a refreshing change from the primped-up cowboy beauties of the 1950s and provided a glimpse of the earthier female personas yet to come. But before or since, has there ever been a tougher or more memorable female character in a contemporary Western than Alma? She shows sensuality without trying to be sexy. She shows an interest in Hud without showing weakness. And her no-nonsense approach was ahead of its time. She more than held her own against Paul Newman, which only adds to her and the film's appeal.
Aren't you all?
Honey, don't go shooting all the dogs because one of them's got fleas.
I was married to Ed for 6 years. The only thing he was ever good for was to scratch my back where I couldn't reach it.
You still got that itch?
Off and on.
Well, let me know when it gets to bothering you.
Hey, what are you climbing on Hud for?
And of course, we have Paul Newman, whose role here would cement his place in the Hollywood firmament. It should be said that the novel portrayed Hud as a man without merit, but here, with grace and gravitas, he supplies Hud with inklings of a soul. Though many people see him, as Alma rightly called him, a cold-hearted bastard, he's more than that. Hud, as a character of his time, embodied a new ethos, right or wrong, which was longing to break free from old norms and seeking acceptance. As a film, it marked the entry of a new type of Western, one that was more intimate, more cynical, and more authentic than those before it.
Well, hidden life full of surprises. And all along, I thought it was because of what I'd done to my big brother.
I took that hard, but I buried it.
Well, all right, I'll bite. What turned you sour on me? Not that I'd give a damn.
Just that, Hud. You don't give a damn. That's all. That's the whole of it. You still don't get it, do you? You don't care about people, Hud. You don't give a damn about them.
Granddad.
Oh, you got all that charm going for you, and it makes the youngsters want to be like you. That's the shame of it, 'cause you don't value nothing. You don't respect nothing. You keep no check on your appetites at all. You live just for yourself, and that makes you not fit to live with.
My mama loved me, but she died.